Rob,
Yes.
why does Al Sharpton suck? You know what?
Well, we'll get to that. So Kamala Harris has been in the news. Let's go to the first news article if we could. The news article came out last week. Karine Jean-Pierre comes to the defense of Kamala Harris. So Kamala Harris, after her disaster, at this point, can we call it a disastrous campaign?
Yeah.
I mean, she's bankrupt, in debt. She did get like 40
most money ever.
8 million people to vote for her, which is actually even more concerning because you're like, wow, there's 48 million people that thought that idiot could run this country. She couldn't even 72 million. 72 million people thought that moron could run this country, but she couldn't even balance the budget of her own campaign, which is why they're 20 million in debt. And we'll get to that campaign spending. But take a look. This is Karine Jean-Pierre coming to the defense of Kamala Harris. Now, mind you, Kamala Harris has been campaigning for president of the United States. Her campaign lasted 108 days, 107 days. She has not done her job as vice president of the United States for at least 107 days. The election was what? We're 23 days ago?
Yeah.
So now we're on 130 days of this woman not doing her job. And when asked, where is Kamala Harris? The campaign's over. She's lost. She's vacationing with her husband. Remember, he was going to be the new sex appeal, was Doug Emhoff.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
What a disastrous campaign all around. In fact, I was on stage this weekend, and I asked the crowd, I'm like, I mentioned something about Trump, and then the crowd cheered. I went, oh, that's surprising. I said, so do we have any white guys for Kamala Harris? And not a peep. And I said, well, it's South Florida. They don't really have gays come to comedy shows, apparently, because not a single one was there. What a disaster that campaign had been. Kamala Harris she was supposed to be the leader, and she can't complete a sentence. Doug Emhoff was supposed to be the male sex figure leading us into 2025.
Masculinity, redefining masculinity.
Gets accused of assaulting a gal and slapping her at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
Impregnating the nanny.
The white dudes for Harris were literally the gayest men I have ever seen in my entire life, pretending to be dudes for Kamala Harris. The entire online following, the Harry Sissies of the world, all of the people, the JoJos from Jersey,
the Krasensteins,
all of these people that were getting paid for by Kamala Harris, allegedly.
And that's how you end up a crap ton of money in debt, because you pay everyone up to and including Beyonce to pretend to like you.
I don't care how much you pay. She had $1.5 billion, and those influencers were not worth or costing $1.5 billion.
And we'll get to who else she paid, because it turns out she was paying the people that were interviewing her for the campaign, which is a huge problem. But here's the clip. This is Karine Jean-Pierre coming to Kamala Harris's defense when asked, where is the vice president of the United States? She's only got like 54 days left of her job. She didn't just do her fucking job for 130 days. By the way, you know what her salary is? $284,600 a year. We're paying that, and she hasn't done her job. How is anyone okay with this? Any person. Vinny, you don't come to work for 130 days, and then you tell Pat, I'm going to go on vacation. You think you're still going to get paid?
Not at all.
And yet we're just supposed to sit here and be cucks and be like, well, she gave it a good try.
No.
Here's Karine Jean-Pierre, the biggest diversity hire that we've ever
Failure.
seen in the history of
Like.
press officers. Let's watch her coming to the defense.
Before you say it, I guarantee you, I haven't seen this clip. Karine Jean-Pierre is going to start with look.
No, okay. All right. Look is the first word. Go ahead.
To Hawaii while DNC staffers are just wondering what they're going to do for work?
The vice president has taken time off to go spend time with her family. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think she deserves some time to be with her family and to have some downtime.
After
She has worked very hard over the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And her taking a couple of days to be with her family,
130.
good for her. Good for her.
Closes the binder.
Look at that book. Look at how much shit.
All lies, by the way.
lies.
It's just a whole binder
That's a
of
lie
bullshit.
book. It's a lie book. It's a
Give me
binder.
the bullshit binder. I have to go out and lie to the press.
I hate to say it. That was the best answer Karine Jean-Pierre ever gave as press secretary.
Well, listen.
If I didn't hate Kamala Harris so much, I would say good for her. She's right.
This is on top of... Okay, don't hate on her for taking a vacation after working so hard. Yeah, she didn't do her job, but she was campaigning. Whatever, you could believe that was hard work a little bit. But this is a woman who hasn't done her job for 4 friggin' years. Like, it's not like she was working hard before. She was the border czar who never went to the border. And Biden is on vacation at the same time, too.
Glad you brought that up, because in August of this year, Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about Kamala Harris's achievements as the vice president of the United States, and here she is, unable to answer a single thing that the woman accomplished. So remember, she worked so hard for the American public. She deserves a vacation with her family. But just 3 months ago, when asked what has she done with all of that hard work, you have no answers. Can we play that clip?
What does the president see as the vice president's biggest achievement during their time in office together?
So look.
Oh, there we go. Boom.
Because they've
I
been
knew I'd get
partners,
it.
those
Yes.
achievements have been done, certainly. Those historic, unprecedented achievements have been done together. I'll say this, the president believes in the vice president leadership, her temperament, her experience, and he has said this himself. One of the proudest decisions that he made in 2020 was selecting her as vice president because he believed that she can go on day one. And you've seen them do that together on day one of this administration. That doesn't change. I'm not going to parse out anything from here. They have been partners. She's been a critical partner for this president
She's gonna turn
Where's the
the page.
achievement?
this
I'm waiting
term,
for the
and will
achievement.
continue to do so. You will see them together on Thursday in Maryland, where they would talk about their next announcement on lowering costs for the American people.
There's not a specific policy achievement. It's a comprehensive whole.
I would say it's a comprehensive whole.
Oh,
Comprehensive whole.
It's a comprehensive whole, all right.
No, that's an incompetent hole that lost the vice presidency or the presidency. So it turns out, well, okay, now people are going, where's Kamala Harris? We haven't seen Kamala Harris. And we're going to get to how upset her donors are. By the way, so when she went on vacation, she skipped a post-election gathering at the White House that was attended by donors and insiders.
Wow.
So think about it. These people pounded the pavement for you. They were wrong, but they pounded the pavement for you. They canvassed. They volunteered their time. Some of them got money to go and do that. But then you're invited to thank them for their hard work, and you decide, no, I'm going to go to Hawaii instead. So here is the vice president. She finally does a video to address, hi, everybody. I'm still the vice president. I'm still not doing nothing. And here's a clip of her giving words of wisdom and encouragement to the Democratic fan base. Even though we lost in 2024, we got stomped on. There's still hope and joy for you.
I just have to remind you.
Oh, God.
Don't you ever let anybody take your power from
Oh,
you.
my.
Look at her eyes. Look at her eyes.
You have the same power
Different than the other.
that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
Did you hear the way she said ability? It was straight up
Ability. Oh, she's like, that is $1.5 billion worth of just, I'm going to go buy wine. We lost. I knew I was going to lose. There was no freaking hope. There was no nothing. That is like my drunk aunt. No, I'm dead serious.
Can you bring up the picture without playing play?
Look at that.
We can
Just look
bring
at
up
that.
this
Look at that
picture right
photo.
here.
Look at that.
That is, I say,
That's my drunk
I say
aunt.
there's that moment at every night when you, like New Year's Eve, where that one drink puts you over the edge.
That's it.
And there's the face that embodies. Yep, I shouldn't have had that last whiskey and tonic.
And just real quick, and Rob, I know we've talked about this before on this podcast too. She made two major mistakes. Okay, one was going after the major one. If I'm gonna break it down, everything that the message was bad. Everything, the messaging, Hitler, all that. But the other one was, you're Indian. Why didn't she go after the Indian? You know how many Indians are on the bro? They're the most. How many Indians are on the planet?
But do you
billions?
2 bill. Do you think anyone would have wanted an Indian vice president to help Joe Biden? No, we needed a black woman, and she fit the bill, or could at least pretend to fit the bill.
Did, and by the way, just her drinking. I know I have a lot of Indian friends. They could put it down, bro. Rob
Firewater.
Oh my
wrong
God!
kind of
I have
Indian.
2 friends that I'm telling you right now. I'm not gonna say their names. And mind you, I was an alcoholic. I would be like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, I would pass out, wake up, and they're still just not acting like her, but just like, yeah, just we just barely eating, no drinking.
It's 10 minutes though. Like that's crazy to me that like you can't carve out 10 minutes to sound normal. Like when you haven't spoken for 3
She
months.
doesn't.
But not just that. Look, I sincerely think that she had a drink before that, and
she's been on vacation though.
Well, that's the time you drink. Don't do. Either don't drink before you're going to do a video conference call, or put it off. Find an excuse. I mean, she hasn't worked for 2 months. She can put the call on for tomorrow. And they try to pull clips from that to make it look good. And the videos going viral today, they're hilarious. I mean, hilarious in a sad way because I think she's a very tortured soul.
Oh yeah,
drunk off her ass.
I literally just opened Twitter, and the first video, literally just open it up. First video is her
Kamala holding a Hennessy bottle. The new one's her holding a Hennessy bottle.
So what do you think is her drink of choice? Because
white wine.
I would go with like a wine spritzer.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she throws those back.
It's white wine, but it's like,
Semen.
but this is. Wait, what did he say? What did he say?
I think he said semen.
Jeez, Brandon.
No, the point with the white wine theory is that you got to drink a lot of white wine to get sloppy drunk like that. I think she got to do something a little bit harder than white wine. Otherwise, if she's drinking that much white wine, I think for the caloric intake, it'd be a little.
There was a photo of her during the election where she's playing with kids, I think, for like a family thing.
Yeah, there's a glass of
big
wine.
ass glass of wine.
She also went to a bar with Gretchen Whitmer, but I think they got beer. But it's like everybody knows she doesn't just sit down and order a beer when she walks into a bar.
She's wine.
Nobody
orders. It's too low class for her.
We talked about this before the podcast. The rumors during the election was that she has a drinking issue. If people are out there saying that you have a drinking issue, the last place you want to be filmed during a campaign is sitting at a bar drinking.
Yeah, you know what? I'll push back on that. That's what you want to do to dispel the myth. Look, I don't have a drinking problem. I just go out and have a nice light Coors beer. I don't. No, that's exactly what you try to do to make it look like you don't have a drinking problem. Because if you avoid it, then people are always going to get away with the drinking problem thing. But
she went out and ordered an IPA, so not only do we know she has a drinking problem, we also know she has bad taste.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to use that now. When my wife catches me strip club receipt, I'm going to go, no, I thought you were going to say that I was going there, so I went there to dispel the rumor that I actually go to Cheetahs in Pompano Beach.
You're getting ahead of the curve. You got to dispel that she's got a drinking problem, so show her as a functional. I can just go and have a
drinking
shitty
solution,
beer.
if you will.
Well, so why I wanted to bring up all of the Kamala stuff was actually get to this. Al Sharpton. So if we could play this first clip. Al Sharpton interviewed Kamala Harris. This is back in October of this year, October 20th. Al Sharpton tweets, tune in to MSNBC's Politics Nation with Rev Al Sharpton. He refers to himself in his own tweets in the third person. That's weird. At 5 p.m., we'll sit down with, I'll sit down with Vice President and Democratic candidate Kamala Harris for a one-on-one interview. And here's one of the questions that Kamala Harris was asked. She was asked about being too progressive, and Al Sharpton actually helps by talking about how she wanted people to smoke weed, which actually made it seem like she was even more progressive than what people were accusing her of being.
Sunday, Vice President Kamala Harris sits down for an exclusive interview with Reverend Al Sharpton in Atlanta. With early voting in Georgia underway, they'll discuss the importance of reaching black voters and what's at stake this election.
Failure.
Sunday at 5 on MSNBC.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a promo video. Can we go?
Rob, I was gearing up to talk crap.
Can we skip to the next one? That's the tweet. There's the video. Let's play this.
All right.
And one of the things that reporters ask, and we don't get it from the audience, is what about the Kamala the cop? And I said, well, I